So Coach Casey here representing Darkrey with another Gloves and Gains method video. Today we're talking about nutrition. This is part 2 from the kitchen talk when we talk about groceries and whatnot. And today what we're going to do is how to calculate your macros. First step, if we're calculating our macros, we need to figure out our calories. You have the equation in the other video, but I'm going to put it here too. Males, body weight times 10 times your activity multiplier. I'm going to have the activity multiplier in the description for you. It was there in the other video. Females, women, body weight times 11 times your activity multiplier. That's how we first figure out our calories, right? Because we need our calories before we figure out our macros, because we use our calories to figure out our macros. The next thing you need to figure out if you want to lose weight, maintain, or gain weight. If you want to lose weight, we're going to subtract 300 to 500 calories a day to drop weight. If we want to maintain, we keep the calculation that we're coming up with right now the same. If we want to add weight or gain weight, we're going to add 300 to 500 calories a day to go and make sure that we hit that. Now, let's talk about our macros. Our macros and our major macronutrients are your protein, carbs, and fat. Now, when we talk about the calorie breakdown for each one of those, in carbs, there's 4 calories per gram. In protein, there's also 4 calories per gram. And in fat, there's 9 calories per gram. That's important when we get into our equation. So now what we do is if we get into an example of what a 165-pound male who wants to lose weight, what are his calories like, right? So we're gonna use that equation. We're gonna do 165, which is his body weight, multiply it by 10. His activity multiplier, because he's gonna be active, he's working out every day, is 1.7. We get 2,805 for his total calories. Remember, he wants to lose weight, so we're going to subtract 300 from that. We did 305 just to get an even number of 2,500 calories, right? The easy way to remember how much protein you should have is to start off, is do 1 gram of protein per body weight, per pound of body weight. So that is 165 grams of protein you should be having daily. Once again, 4 calories per grams of protein, because we need to figure out the total calories. That is now 660. That is the amount of calories he needs to eat to hit his grams of protein per day. We need to figure out our other macronutrients, right? Next, we're gonna go into carbs. Carbs for us, we're gonna keep it about 40% of what his total calories are, because he's active, so he needs carbs as his energy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take his total calories once again, and we're gonna multiply it by 40%. That comes out to 1,000 calories. Remember, we need grams to figure out his carbs for his macros per day. So we're going to divide that by 4, because that's the amount of calories that is in 1 gram of carbs. So we come out with 250. Now, in order to figure out the total calories they have left for fat from a macronutrient standpoint, we now need to go back and add 1,000, which was his total carbs, plus 660, which is his total protein. So now from here, that equals 1,660. We need to figure out his grams of fat, remember? So we're gonna take 2,500, subtract it by 1,660, and we get 848. Remember, once again, the amount of calories in a gram of fat is 9 calories. So now we're going 848 divided by 9. That gives us about 93.33, but we're gonna round down like we did in math class, and we get 93 grams total. So now after all that, when we went from calories to now figure out macros, this 165-pound male who wants to lose weight is now eating 2,500 calories a day, broken down into 165 grams of protein, broken down to 93 grams of fat, and 250 grams of carbs per day. That is how you set up your macros for what you need to eat. I'm gonna link you guys back to the other video, because now we need to figure out the application of that. What do you need to eat to break down these macros? But I want to keep this short and sweet. If you have any questions, a lot of the information will be in the link in the description, as well. This is part of the Gloves and Gains method. This is what you get as part of your yearly subscription, where we teach you how to set up your macros and how to adjust them as you get lower in weight or as you change your goals. But appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one.